In 7th grade, I didn't necessarily care about being cool. I sold Pokemon. I was getting bread on the side. You know, for everybody, I was getting bread in the 7th grade. I'm selling Pokemon cards. I'm selling the holographic Charizard. I'm getting $30, $40 for one card. So I was making bread.
That was the hustle?
That was the hustle. Big hustle.
Alexa, who is the UFC welterweight champion of the world?
The UFC welterweight champion of the world is the most talented and handsome young man, Kamaru Usman.
Well, goddamn.
I mean, yeah, that's what I was saying. She came out with all that. I'm like, thank you, Alexa. I see you, recognize.
Okay, well, how are you holding up?
I'm good, man. It's been a long, grueling training camp, but it's finally fight week. So you can tell by the excitement on my face, I'm excited to go to work.
Just to give the viewers a little bit of context, it's 3 p.m. on a Monday afternoon during fight week. It's unconventional to interview fighters during fight week in a different state. Do you feel like that's a disadvantage?
At this point, it's part of the game. You know, some people might see it that way, but it's part of the game for me. When I was coming up, I kind of had one of the best like mentors, kind of, you know, growing up, and I saw how they did it, and they brought me on some tours like this, to where, you know, Sugar Rashad Evans kind of just like, that's how you deal with it. He dealt with it. I kind of got a glance at what to look forward to, because I knew at some point this was the stage that I was going to be on.
So it's safe to say that after this interview, you're probably going to just hop on the PJ and fly to Vegas?
Yeah, we're going to try to hop on the private jet. Nah, I'm fronting.
You fronting?
We ain't got no private jet. Man, at least we first class now, though.
For real?
You know, we first class now.
I don't know if you saw this, but Dana gave Nate and Jorge a private jet to come to MSG.
You sure they gave them a private jet?
Oh, well, I don't know. Speculation, I don't know.
Man, anybody could rent a private jet. It's only $20K, something light. That ain't nothing, you know.
But we flying commercial this time.
But we gonna keep it commercial, you know. You going to the same place,
right?
You know.
You're right.
Smart. That's the down payment on
Stay
the
woke,
house.
stay broke.
Yeah,
that's what
exactly.
Israel says.
Exactly.
So I've seen a lot of interviews and videos online, and you know they're always about fight questions. I never really seen videos where they talk about your upbringing. So if we can dive into that, that would be really helpful.
Yeah, man, let's do it.
You were born in, is it?
Auchi.
Auchi? So it's not
yes.
Benin City.
See, the thing is, Benin is the state. You know, it's Edo State and Benin is in there. And Auchi is like the town, the little small, you know, village, I guess you might want to say. A lot of the things that I see is that we're extremely privileged here in America. You know, there's a lot of different things that we have access to that we don't have in Africa or in Nigeria. But I was still a little boy growing up, even though we were what you would consider below poverty line. You know, things would go okay. Like I said, we'd walk miles to get the water, you have to bring it back and you have to boil it just to be able to cook, clean, wash your clothes and things like that. Even under those circumstances, I was still happy. It wasn't, you know, I was gonna stop living life. I was gonna die of sadness because of that.
So I understand your pops was in the Nigerian army.
Yes.
Which somehow led him to Texas?
To come, yeah, getting an opportunity to further your education and do bigger and better things is, that's something that we, you know, it's just bred in us. Not just my father, but Nigerians in general. We're always looking to improve our well-being, our quality of life. And my dad saw an opportunity for him to go and educate himself and become a pharmacist, which he got that opportunity and became a pharmacist. And then all of a sudden we got to the point where, you know, we could immigrate, he could bring us all over here.
That actually takes a while though, to go from like being in the army to becoming a pharmacist.
Yes.
It's not overnight.
No, I'm glad you pointed that out. I think my dad, when he left while I was young. The real good hardcore first memory of my dad that I got was when he came back to Nigeria. So when he was gone for a while, came back, maybe it was like the holidays or something like that. Then he spent a good amount of time, I think maybe a month with us before he left again. You know, that was the first real memories that I could comprehend of my dad, but he was already working back and forth. So yes, it does take a long time.
So I read in an article where you arrived in Arlington, Texas, yes. And then kids at school were teaching you bad words and you were saying it to the teacher, calling them...
Kids are cruel, man. Kids is cruel.
Gotta get your jokes off.
Yeah, kids is cruel. And one of the biggest things is there's kind of a language barrier. Of course, we spoke English, but when you're from a different culture, you don't understand the slang terminology and the different things that are going on in certain cultures. So when I come in and, you know, you think your boy, you know, it's supposed to be your boy, like people that kind of, hey, come play with us, come hang out. Then your class is like, yeah, call Miss Roman, call her. say, hey, bitch. You know, she liked that. She like that's a cool name to call a teacher. I'm like, hey, bitch. What? What did you say? The principal's office. I'm like, whoa, what happened? What'd I do? You know, next thing you know, I'm getting written up. They calling my parents, and that's the last thing you want to do. Have them call you your immigrant parents. And yeah, you know, they caused me a few whoopings. When you come from, especially an African family, there's only certain career fields that you're allowed to go into. You know, whether you're going to be a doctor, whether you're going to be an engineer, or you're going to be a pharmacist. That's it. You know, in order to be able to do all that, grades got to be tight. And so that's it. You got to face your school. You know, I can hear it now. My dad, you will face your schools, face your studies. That's what you know, so they push that, they preach that. In 7th grade, I think the lowest grade I ever got on my report card was like a 93 in the 7th grade. And even that time I was upset when I got that grade. You know, 93, I was low-key mad. But then in the 8th grade, it was a shift that kind of happened. I started to kind of be cool. I sold Pokemon. I was getting bread on the side. You know, for everybody, I was getting bread in the 7th grade. I'm selling Pokemon cards. I'm selling the holographic Charizard. I'm getting $30, $40 for one card. So I was making bread.
That was the hustle?
That was the hustle. Big hustle. I was getting bread. I've been telling y'all people, I made some money. So, you know, I was doing all that in the 7th grade. And then in the 8th grade, the shift happened. So in the 8th grade, being an athlete as well, and I was an okay athlete, now I kind of started to be more on the cool side. So if you're more on the cool side, you can't just be teacher's pet. Man, I gotta be cool. Teacher talk to you, you know, do the, I ain't listening, I ain't paying attention. Started to kind of drop because I started focusing on being more of the cool kid. I had my first girlfriend when I was in the 8th grade.
Oh, that's problems
you
right
know?
there, man.
Yeah, so my brother was a senior in high school. I had a cousin, and my brother was the head of the captain of the soccer team. He was known, so everybody knew who my brother was. Nice dude, nice, you know. And then I had a cousin who was a big football player as well. So everybody kind of knew me coming into high school. So I thought, I'm the cool cat. Like, everybody know me already. When I got there, I didn't feel that love like that because I was Cash's little brother.
What made you go into wrestling? Because Texas is a big football state.
Man, I was playing football. Like I said,
okay.
7th grade, I was the athlete. I played football. I was good. I was good enough. Then in the 8th grade, people kind of grew a little bit more. I didn't grow that much.
You had to grow.
So I was still kind of okay. Then went to 9th grade. It's Texas football, so everybody's college size. I'm still 5'2", 103 pounds, soaking wet. I got smacked big time one time trying to do a 43 counter up the middle. I got hit so hard. I think I said every cuss word in the book that I knew. And the assistant football coach was the assistant wrestling coach. I didn't know at the time, I didn't know about wrestling. I never heard of wrestling. He kept saying, why don't you come in and try wrestling? It's like, nah, coach, I ain't trying to get hit with chairs, man. I ain't trying to get thrown off the top turnbuckle. I don't want to do that. And he kind of laughed. He's like, no, why don't you come in and try it? I'm like, I'll think about it. So I took a couple more bad hits in football. I'm like, man, this ain't it, you know? Because at that point, you start thinking as a kid, all you can do is comprehend the situation you're in. I'm like, man, I'm 5'2", 100 pounds. I'm not gonna grow, man. So I gotta do something else. I gotta figure out something. I knew that I wanted to be an athlete though. So I stuck my head in the wrestling room. It's like 70 dudes in there sweating. It's a smell that you get from a wrestling room because that's just that smell of hard work, that must, that, you know, blood, sweat, and tears that you get in there. I smelled that. I was like low-key scared. I was like, nah, man, this ain't for me. Nah, I can't do it. I seen them slamming each other down on the ground. I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna do that. You know, coaches make fun of you and kind of tease you a little bit. He kept poking at me and teasing me. And then one day I was like, man, coach, you know what? I'm gonna come in there, I'm gonna smash every dude you got on your team. Cause I thought I was tough. You know, I'm a freshman, I thought I was tough. I'm smashing everybody you got around my size in the gym. They put us in a group. There's like 3 of us or a group of 4 of us. It was me, and 2 other guys, and a girl. And so I'm like, you gonna put this girl on us? Come on, coach. We finna take care of this girl. And she beat the brakes off me. Where she was slamming me, put me in half Nelsons. I didn't know how to get off my back. I'm just flopping around because I didn't know the technique. I didn't know what to do. I remember when I was walking home, I would tell myself in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna get this girl tomorrow. I'm gonna fuck this girl up. Nah, she ain't finna do me like this. I wasn't necessarily thinking negatively like, man, she embarrassed me, I'm never gonna show up again. Or this and
It's
that.
more of a competitive edge.
Yeah, it was like, and that's when the competitor was born. It was like, I'm gonna get her back tomorrow. And I came back and she waxed me again. She assaulted me for a good month and a half. Yeah, I'm talking everywhere. You know, she didn't slam me all over the mat. And then we were wrestling. All of a sudden I hit this move, it's called a headlock. Boom, hit her down to her back, and I'm just squeezing. And then I remember that day I was walking home, I was like, oh shit, I learned something. I know a move. Okay, I'm going back. The next year, man, I didn't even go out for football or anything like that. I went straight into wrestling.
By the way, do you remember that girl's name?
Yeah, I remember her name. She know. I ain't even gonna let you put
might
me on
need to do
blast
some
like
Google
that.
searches, man.
She know. I done mentioned her
Can we
name
get a first
few
name?
times.
First name.
Angela.
Angela?
Yeah, she knows shit. But to come to find out though, she was already like a 2-3-time state champion.
So what you're saying is you were that good that they had to get the top dogs to get at you at a young age.
That's what I'm saying, Coach Mans, y'all heard him, you know.
Got you.
I knew what y'all was trying to do.
You wrestled alongside Jon Jones at the senior national tournament.
There's a junior nationals now and all these different tournaments, but there's a senior nationals. And the senior nationals, to get invited to this tournament, you had to have been a state placer in your state. I think it was in Ohio somewhere. I think maybe Cleveland, Ohio. And we were in the tournament in the hotel we were staying at. John and his brother were staying at. We didn't necessarily know. It was me and my boy Aaron. We were wrestling, you know, on the team. And it was us two black dudes at this tournament. So I primarily wrestling was more dominated by, you know, Caucasians. We're at the tournament, we're in the hotel, we're about to go get breakfast in the morning, and we see these other two big black dudes, you know. And it was that senior nationals that week, so we knew they was there for some reason. So I'm like, thought he was in basketball. They were kind of tall. So I'm like, yo, what's up, man? They're like, what's up? It's just something about it, you know, you gravitate towards each other. You know?
You ever watch the movie Get Out?
Get Out, yeah, I seen it. It's just, yeah, it's like that. It's like, what's up, brother? You gravitate towards each other, you know? And so we seen him at breakfast, so we was talking like, what's up, man? What's up? Are you wrestling? I was like, yeah, I'm here for senior national. You too? Yeah, I was like, all right, my brother, you know, hey, we wrestling too. We here. So we chopped it up. We hung out all weekend. And then that's when I really realized who they were, because, you know, he was talented. I'm like, damn, John, this dude's good. I asked him, where you going to college next year? And he was like, oh, I'm going to this small school in Iowa. I was like, oh, me too. Yeah, let's keep in touch. We kept it, you know, in touch. We exchanged numbers.
You guys didn't grapple with each other?
Nah, he was a big dude. John was, I think in high school, he wrestled at 197, you know, and I was 145 pounds.
Oh, okay.
So, and his brother was a heavyweight. So, yeah, it wasn't no.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know Stylebender is your boy. What do you think about the trolling going back and forth between those two?
I love it. That's the entertainment aspect of the sport now that I understand. I know both guys, you know. Stylebender is my guy. You know, that's my fellow countryman, and being able to meet him. Shout out my man, Easy. You know that's what we did now, you know. So, you know, if that fight ever did happen, I mean, come on, it's a humongous fight. Humongous. I mean, of course, Dana's UFC, they're already like, how are we gonna make this happen?
Need it right now.
we need that money, you know. So that's a humongous fight if it ever happens, but. You know, it's gonna take a lot to make that happen.
Well, let's jump forward to UNK. Didn't you say you were gonna like go to Iowa, but then?
I did. That's the thing is,
So
I did 2
I was
years.
here, Nebraska's there.
Yeah, I did 2 years at a small school, a private university in Iowa, William Penn University. I had all my eggs in one basket. I was gonna go to Appalachian State University, which is a big Division I in North Carolina. But things fell through and didn't work out the last minute. I didn't really look at any other schools. Wasn't planning on going to any other schools. I had a lot of letters, but after senior nationals, this college kept sending me letters. They even sent me like a letter of intent in the mail, like, hey, we'd love for you to come here. We've got money for you. We've got scholarship money. Come here. So when that fell through, I'm home disappointed. My mom, African parents, you know what stay this house. They go college somewhere. So basically they let me know, you can't stay here. I'm like, all right, screw it. So I pick up the phone, I call them up. They're like, yeah, we'd love to have you. You wanna come up? I was like, yeah, I wanna come up. And this was like now 2 weeks before school started. So I go there, I'm like, what is this? It's in a small town in Iowa. I think which student body the school is, maybe 10,000 people in the town. Maybe. I needed that experience because I experienced a lot of things there that kind of shaped me into the person that I am today. I mean, it taught me a lot about prejudice, a lot about, you know, racism. It taught me a lot about, you know, knowing who I am, and also about honing my skills, because even on the team, the wrestling team that I was on, some of the most talented individuals I've ever been around.
What kind of college student were you? Were you like a party animal?
Always the dad of the group. I was always the...
In college?
It was crazy. Yeah, I mean, I was always
On
the dad
campus?
in my house, and they knew me. Like they knew who my house was. They was like, oh yeah, we going to Marty's house tonight. Everybody come to university, you know, 25th and 7th. Let's go to university. Let's go to the wrestler house, Marty's house. I do some parties, epic parties. I did, but I would be the dude in the corner like this, watching everybody in my house, like make sure I don't break that thing over there.
You're basically a bouncer at that.
Yeah, exactly. So make sure they own it. I never drank all through the season. I never touched a drop of alcohol. And at some point, I had to kind of keep some of my teammates from drinking alcohol because I needed them to help us win a national title. And so I was that guy who was always kind of dad and policing the place.
When did you graduate?
2010. 2010, I was a national champion, Division II, and I went to the tournament called Senior Nationals, which was a freestyle, the Olympic style wrestling. I did pretty well there. You know, not the result that I wanted, but I did well enough to open the eyes of the resident coach at the Olympic Training Center. It's like, man, let me give this kid an opportunity to come here and train and see what he can develop into. So I went to live at the Olympic Training Center. Throughout that process, I started meeting a lot of fighters. So when fighters had fights coming up with wrestlers, they would hit me up. Hey, I'm about to fight a wrestler close to your side, like Rashad Evans. Hey, will you come out and train with me? So that's when I started kind of seeing MMA. And then I got a chance to be a coach on The Ultimate Fighter. So I got a chance to do that. So that was the first real time I was around the UFC and got to see, you know, all the different things that go into being a
Basically, you saw
fighter.
dollar signs.
While training, you go to these tournaments, and if you go to these tournaments in India or somewhere, these, you know, Russia, these hard ass tournaments you train so long for, and let's say you win the tournament, you get 2,000-3,000. That'll last me in like 2-3 months. Yeah, stretch that 2-3 months. That last me. I watch these wrestlers that I go help out and train, and they just got the bonus. That was when the bonuses was like 75,000, something crazy. So these guys already getting 50 and 50, 100,000 to win this fight, and then they got a bonus of 75,000 on top of it. I'm like, yo, this ain't right. Like, I'm not working this hard for $3,000. Nah, I need to go over here and see what this is like.
So I follow you on Instagram, and I see your Instagram stories. You have very good taste in music, man. What type of music are you bumping right now?
Man, and that's the thing about me. I'm glad I have a very eclectic taste in music. I might wake up in the morning and I'm feeling, you know, Aguanile by, you know, Mark Anthony, or, you know, or some Hector Lavoe, like Spanish music. Or I might wake up feeling Bruno Boy, you know, Afrobeat music, Wizkid, you know. Or I might wake up feeling some hard Jeezy, or you know, Young Thug, some new stuff, you know, or old school Busta Rhymes. My music taste is all over the place.
Have you ever been to those wild dance hall parties where like the girl like climbs on trees and then jump and then start twerking on
That's
people?
a little much for me. I got a Jamaican teammate, you know, my boy is Jamaican to the core, Jason Jackson, shout out to him. That's a little much for me, man. Like I see some of the, I'm like, man, this is brutality. Like when did dancing turn into brutality? I seen one where he threw the girl off of something into the table. She fell, broke the table, and then he did like a somersault on top of her and was like, I'm like, what is this? And then, you know, the DJs, like, oh, I'm like, what is going on right now?
So I feel like we went on through this entire interview. I have to ask a fight question now because, you know, that's just part of the game. Okay, so this fight on Saturday, you said is the most anticipated fight of the year.
Yes.
What do you think would happen to the loser? Is it career suicide at this point? Like,
no, it depends. I think at this point, because you know, I've been doing interviews all day today, and I've heard a few people say, oh, he's coming out now and saying that, oh, this is an act and this is an act. For me, that's a weakness. You're starting to give a way out already. You want a way out because you know, for you, the way you've put yourself, you know that this is suicide for you. You're going in, and after I finish him, he's done. So he's trying to look for a way out to maybe save face and save himself now. Like, people don't hate me after I lose because I was only doing this as a show. I was just putting on a gimmick. So I'm the only guy here that can save him now. So I'm the only one. It just depends on what mood I'm in after I finish him. If I'm in a friendly mood, I might be able to save him to actually keep his career alive. But if not, I might just, let him wither away and die.
Well, we made it this far, and I feel like I need to address the elephant in the room. When we were walking to the studio, you mentioned that you kind of recognized me, and I don't know, maybe you saw this like video somewhere. So I'll say most likely to blank, and you name a fighter.
Okay.
Most likely to wear a romper. Do you know what a romper is?
Yeah.
Got a photo just to remind you. It's like a t-shirt attached to
that's
a pair of
fucking,
shorts.
that's Usman all day. I guarantee Usman probably has 3 or 4 of those.
Disrespectful.
And the purse to match.
All right, most likely to re-gift a gift.
All right, so that's got to be somebody who's fucking cheap. He ain't gonna spend the money. He's gonna take something you got him and give it back to somebody else.
Yes.
Usman looked like that type of dude. Usman looked like that, bro. Like he'll give you a puzzle and then he'll give it to somebody else. He looked like the type of dude to do that, man. I know you're gonna watch this because you watch all that shit. Do something about it. In the pro side or in the personal side, do something about it.
See, this is what I'm saying right here. You got guys trying to act like they tough, sitting here with the cheap ass fake Tony Montana suit like he tough. You're not tough. If I saw you I've seen him in person several times. He's not gonna talk like that. He's not gonna step to me and say something like that. Because he know I'm about that action. We're gonna rumble right there if that's what it needs to be. He's not gonna do that. So he can sit here and try to sell a fighter, promote. All these guys are all talk. And you know why they talk about me? Because I got this. This is what they want. I'm the king of the hill. I'm at the top of the mountain. But for Dana, me and him gonna talk. He hating Dana. You gotta, First of all, if I did ever wear a romper, which I will not and do not own.
Oh, it's on the record.
If I did ever wear one, it's gonna be the flyest shit, because I make it all fly.
Okay, let me give you a platform for a little redemption, if that's okay. So we'll play most likely to, okay?
Okay.
So I'll say most likely to blank, and then you name a fighter.
All right.
Most likely to get finessed by a girl in a club.
Colby Covington. Facts. Big facts.
How many drinks do you think girls can finesse Colby?
All night. Don't matter, all night. Like, not just drinks. We talking, I will give him his props. He built up a little bit of name to where he might get bottle service. The club might be like, oh, it's Covington. He got smashed by Usman. Give him bottle service. I'm talking finesse, like, mad girls come into the section, drink the whole bottle, and he be like, you chicks want to come back with me? Nah, we good, dog. We out. We got to wash our hair in the morning. We good.
Okay. Most likely to Photoshop their photos to look better.
Photoshop. I might say Connor. Connor might make you take about 2-3 pictures just to make sure you get the right one.
How do you feel about him fighting in your division?
He's not really fighting in my division. He's trying to make a run at the division or pick somebody else that's ranked. No, it's just him. I feel like it's just him taking a fun fight and not wanting to cut weight or actually make it legit. Shout out to him. He's earned that right. He's put himself on the platform to be able to pick fun fights and not have to, cut weight or lose weight or do anything like that. He's just like, I want to fight this guy. I want to fight this guy at that weight. So they'll let him do it. So, shout out to him for working hard and getting to that platform. But he's not really in my division because everybody know what's up.
Okay, I got 2 more most likely to, okay? Most likely to have a premium Snapchat account. You know what a premium Snapchat account is?
Nah, what's that?
It's when you get a little ratchet on the Snapchat.
You get a little ratchet.
You gotta pay to get that exclusive content.
Exclusive content.
You know what I mean?
I might say Masvidal because, I might say him because he taught like he just, oh man, I don't do this, I don't do that, I'm low key and this and that. Yeah, you low key, but you probably got that premium account. So, yeah, I know you might be watching because you watch everything that we do. Do something about it. Personal level or in the ring. Do something about it.
Most likely to eat mayo straight from the jar.
Mayo from the jar. I might say DC. I'm gonna say DC. Hey, DC. After you did that KFC joint, or was it Popeye's joint? Hey, I might say you eating mayonnaise out the jar like that.
Okay. All right. Well, there you have it. UFC 245, Las Vegas, T-Mobile Arena. I will be there.
All right.
I'm gonna make sure I salute you when I see you coming out.
Yeah, of course, and we're gonna do our thing after too. So after I sleep, we do our thing. So
for sure. You got any last words before we get out of here?
UFC 245, December 14th. Y'all stay tuned. You know, it's time for me to put the nail in the coffin.
ESPN Plus.
ESPN Plus.